Hey guys, it's Peanut and Ice Cream Bar. I have another wig video for you today, this time discussing two different techniques in one video. Before we get started, I just wanted to say, if you like this type of video, if you want to see more of this type of video, please consider supporting me on Patreon. I really appreciate all your help, and it helps me make these videos. Thank you guys so much, and let's get started. So in this video, we're going to cover braids that are close to the scalp, so, you know, crown braids, or cornrows, or hair twists, or just a wig that's made entirely of braids. And we're also going to cover super short hair as if it has been shaved. So the first thing you'll want to do is make your wig cap. In the past, I've used stretch jersey fabric. This time I went for a stretch lace or a stretch net fabric, just because if you happen to see in between the braids or a little bit under the shaved hair, instead of seeing a solid color, you'll see kind of like a pattern that looks more to me like it could be little baby hairs rather than just a solid piece of fabric. But of course you can use any kind of fabric you want, as long as it's close enough to the doll's hair or skin color. If you aren't sure how to make a wig cap, I did a video on it a little while ago, so I will link you to that below if you want to check that out. So we're going to start with making the braids. It's super easy. All you have to do is get a string, a ribbon, a thread of some sort, and probably the easiest way is to find a chair or a small table that you can flip over and tie it to opposite legs. Then all you're going to do is take your hair, fold it over your string, ribbon, whatever, and start braiding it. This way you can make any kind of braid you want, any size, you can make really complicated braids, and it's a lot easier if you're not a super professional hairstylist or wig maker. And this way you can also keep working on the wig while your hair braiding is being done. So while the braids are sitting there being braids, we're going to work on the shaved part of this high fashion haircut. Basically, the first thing I'm going to do is try and remedy a situation that happens whenever you make super short wigs, which is hairline. Humans have lots of different types of hairline, and a wig can never really simulate any of them. So what we're going to do to try and make the hairline look a little more natural is really easy. I'm just going to take little baby hairs and I'm going to glue them right by the ears, right in front of the ears. So the hair just falls down a little more, it looks a little more natural, a little more human-esque. Now that I've done that and that's all nice and dry, I'm going to go into the shaved portion, which is fairly easy, but it can get tedious and very frustrating. So what you have to do is take your hair, and the reason this is so annoying is because it's alpaca hair and it's very soft and it's hard to tell, you know, how fine you've actually cut it because the hair is already very fine. But you're going to take it and you're going to try and cut it into as tiny little pieces as possible. You're basically creating like a fine dust, alpaca dust. Alpaca hair fiber dust. As I said, this will become incredibly frustrating. You'll think that you've got a nice fine dust, but then you'll try gluing it on, and then there will be like awkwardly long hairs curling around, and you'll be sad. However, once you've got a nice pile of your alpaca hair dust, what you can do is just take a little bit of Mod Podge and stick it on your wig cap. Use your fingers or tweezers, whatever you want to use, and pick up some of the dust and just start to press it on. This is also a very tedious process, but you can't really skimp on it unless you're just using this method to go in between braids or something like that. If you're making a wig that is actually going to be this short all the way around, or there's going to be large sections that are this short, you really have to make sure that you're not getting a lot of Mod Podge that's leaking through to the top layer, because that's going to slightly discolor your hair, it's going to give it a slightly different texture, and then it's going to look a little weird. So if need be, you can do a couple layers of this alpaca hair dust. You just want to make sure that the previous layer is dry before you go into and do another layer. Eventually, you'll get to a spot where you like, where you think looks pretty good, and then you're pretty much done. Shaved hair is not that difficult to make, it's just very tedious and boring to make. It's boring! So when you're done with that, what I'm going to do is take my braids. Now I cut mine because I wanted to see if I could make them look a little more like they were growing out of the scalp, but you don't have to cut them, you can just untie your ribbon or string or whatever and just pull them off. Really simple, all you gotta do is glue them down and definitely hold it in place for quite a while. It might take a couple tries to get it right, but it will stick and it will have a nice hold as long as you're not, you know, playing with it too much, pulling on it. Don't pull on hair, that's very rude. And ta-da! So both these methods were super easy, and even though one of them was a little bit tedious, I hope that they are helpful to someone in some fashion, and thank Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to all of you later. Bye!